What's up, guys? This is Andrew Goldberg. I'm born and bred Philadelphian from Lukas, Tigers, and Brons. That's my Card Talk podcast. And I'm excited to be here on the REKT podcast to talk all things sports, crypto, the overlap of sports and crypto, and a whole lot more. And I hear we got some Kobe fans on the other end here, so I'm excited to chop it up and talk Kobe at the end of this episode, so make sure to stay tuned till the end.
Hello and welcome to REKT Podcast. I am Bunchu alongside my esteemed colleague and co-host Chamber. Chamber, how you doing, buddy?
I'm doing absolutely fantastic. Possibly the best intro we've ever had, period, in the history of REKT Podcast.
Wow. And that is some high praise, man. I would tend to agree. We have a very special guest today. We're doing a guest episode, and I'm very excited about this guest, too, because we, you know me, Chamber, and I'm a big collectibles guy. I'm big into sports cards, and I would say, you know, that is probably overtaken my crypto passion as kind of my main squeeze, unfortunately for you. But and so, you know, there's a podcast out there that I listen to daily called the Lukas, Tigers, and Brons podcast with Andrew, who's our guest here today, and they do a daily show, so I listen to that all the time, and I'm excited to have Andrew on because he brings a pretty unique perspective, I think one that I tend to share about you know, crypto, Bitcoin, digital collectibles, where they fit in you know, what we're doing every day, and how that might cross over to the real world, really, like, you know, when a traditional collector, so to speak. So we're going to talk some NBA Top Shot today. If you don't know what that is about, you will find out. Chamber, I introduced you to this just over the weekend, right?
Yeah,
or in the past week or so.
I'm on fire for it.
Awesome. So we are glad to bring in Andrew Goldberg. Andrew, how you doing today, buddy?
I'm doing amazing, guys. Thank you for having me on. I'm excited to talk about all the topics because I think there's more overlap between crypto and sports cards than people kind of realize on the surface. And I like your guys' vibe, so I'm excited to be on the show. Thanks for having me.
For sure. I totally agree with you. I think there's huge crossover. And, you know, it's funny, you guys, your co-host Cage, I feel like you're the guy that has to kind of try to bring that to him. I've heard a lot of your Bitcoin and crypto you know, arguments for him, and I feel like he's just not on board quite yet, huh?
Well, I try to understand things pretty simply, right? Like I think it was Einstein that said, if you can't explain something simply, you don't really understand it. And to me, what I find is, especially with the kind of the older generation, I'm 31, so Cage is 44, but what I find with the older generation is they're a little bit scared of crypto just because they don't understand it. But to me, all I think of is the internet is here to stay, and we need a currency to transact successfully on the internet, and that's enter blockchain. And then on top of blockchain, you have crypto, Ethereum, and the other kind of baby currencies underneath of those two. So that's simply how I understand it. I'm no crypto or Bitcoin expert by any means, but I try to understand it as simple as possible.
Yeah, I agree. Chamber, so what do you think? You're a crypto diehard here. We've established that. You've been in the game. You're now a baptized OG since 2017, right?
That's right. Baptized in blood.
That's fair. Yes, you're baptized in blood, and but you don't really dabble in the regular collectibles space, the real life tangible collectibles space.
Not in my adulthood. When I was a kid, I had, you know, there's probably about a 3 or 4 year span where I collected a lot of hockey cards. Living in Canada, obviously that's going to be a pretty popular item. And then a little bit in comic books as I got a little bit older. But then, chicks happen and,
Yeah,
I'm only human.
Well, you went to Penn State during the prime Penn State years, right?
I'm the Penn Stater, so
You're the
I
Penn
went
Stater.
so I was at Penn State during. Well, it's funny, like you go through that. I don't know about you, Andrew, where you collected when you were a kid and then you come back to it. And I've been back to it, for now probably closer to 2 years. It's just like there's part of that nostalgia where you remember what it was like when you were a kid. Chamber, you think you had any Kobe rookies back in your day or what?
By the time Kobe was a rookie, I'm a little bit older. So I was like 14, I think, when Kobe was a rookie.
Oh, so you were already chasing tail.
I was 100% chicks at that point, I think.
What a ladies' man. The guy that's been with his wife for like 20 years. He's just out there.
I've been a romantic from a young age. What can I say?
That's it. That is it. But Andrew, so kind of tell us a little bit about your background and how, maybe you found crypto, how you found sports cards, and how kind of, those two passions play into each other today.
Yeah, man, I appreciate it. And my background is probably not so different from a lot of people that are in this space, actually. I'm an immigrant. We moved here in '92 with the family from Ukraine. So when I say born and bred Philly, I mean, I was born in Ukraine, but Philly was where I was raised. And my dad moved here with my mom, and we basically just worked. They worked really hard. I was raised by my grandparents, and eventually it's like that immigrant story. When you save up enough money from working, you try to buy your first business. And he bought kind of like a bodega, a little coffee shop. And I was, as the oldest child, pulled into the cafe at the age of like 12 to work the register and get to see how it is my dad runs this business. And to be honest, that's like kind of the foundation that I use today when it comes to buying and selling cards, because my dad kind of did the same thing, but he did it with things that people really enjoyed. So that was when smoothies, like really healthy smoothies, and breakfast sandwiches were becoming popular, so he added those to the menu. But it was no different. He was going to the store, he was buying inventory for X and trying it to sell it for X plus whatever his cost, and then a little bit more on top so that he had money to bring home to the family. It was really that simple. So I was raised in the family business, but I also grew up playing soccer. And I went to Drexel, not right by Penn State, but same general area in Pennsylvania, to play soccer there on a scholarship. Played there for 3 years, and I was kind of like, when you have your toe in two different ponds. I don't even know the statement or the quote, but I wanted to go professional, but I wasn't fully committed to that. And I wanted to go work on Wall Street, but I wasn't fully committed to that. And my career ended on an injury. So we were playing St. Joe's. I got tackled from behind, and I tore my ACL. Ironically, I scored on that exact same play. And that was the final play I had for Drexel. And I had a decision to make. Do I rehab and come back, or do I just move on and start my professional career? So I decided to move on. I had an internship at Morgan Stanley, then got a job at BlackRock in San Francisco right out of college. And I realized, man, I like finance, I like investing, but I don't like the behemoth like Wall Street model. I felt that they were kind of like closed off from the rest of the world. They purposely had these terms and confusing things, and this was right after the 2008 crisis. To paint you a little picture, this was 2012, so we were coming back up off that, what they call the Great Recession, 4 years after Bitcoin started, so it was really, really in its infancy. But I got to see, kind of the overlap between Wall Street, Bitcoin, and what they thought about it internally. And I was like, this really isn't for me. I like investing, but I don't like Wall Street. And I left and I joined a startup. And ironically, that startup, they do ID verification called Jumio. They do ID verification using the camera phone. And they're the ones that signed up, or a lot of Bitcoin companies like Coinbase was our client, came to us and said, we needed to do KYC. We need to verify our customers online. You guys have the best technology out there. Could you help us do that? So that's where in 2012, 13, 14, and hindsight's 2020, I should have invested in Bitcoin then. I got to see, wow, this is really interesting what's going on. And that was the early days of me even getting into Bitcoin, understanding it. It was the overlap of me working on Wall Street and then starting to work with some of these startups like Coinbase that were getting into blockchain.
Yeah, that's interesting. So what, that is a kind of interesting perspective that none of us really have as far as what it's like inside Wall Street or the big financial world and what they think of Bitcoin. And, from your experience then to now, do you feel like that may be changing? Because I feel like we've seen, recently tons of institutional investments. We have companies like MicroStrategy putting Bitcoin on their balance sheet. Do you feel like that? What's the difference between then and now, or how did you kind of see that when you were working in there?
I can't speak on it now too much other than like what we see on the news. But the way I understand Wall Street is like they want to be closed off from the rest of the world. They want to play by their own rules, kind of create their own rules. And I think the reason they're getting into Bitcoin now is because they just see that they have no other option, and it's going to steamroll them if they don't get into it. From a technology perspective, internally, like actually building the technology and investing in it. So I just think they're getting into it now because of the whole FOMO thing. They don't want to miss out.
Interesting. Yeah, I mean, look, but they won't be able to change the rules like AMC, huh? Or GME. So
well, that's a great example. Like you think that those situations, just because of what's going on now, is like an anomaly. But truthfully, when I was there, just the vibe I felt was that they want to play by their own rules. They don't want the little guy to win. They want to, like, the people that they recruit even in those companies, they're from these high prestigious schools like Harvard and Yale and Penn. And I hear you, but I'm not so sure that the best talent comes from those schools. I think that they just select people from those schools to keep it closed off. So I don't like that. I'm a meritocracy capitalism guy through and through.
Interesting. Chamber, you ever see yourself working on Wall Street back in the day? Was that ever a thing you wanted to do?
As long as it was cocaine, I think I would have been fine. I think. I'm not sure how prevalent that still is in today's Wall Street, but I watch a lot of...
You were watching Wolf of Wall Street.
No, I watch... I'm a big Black Monday guy. Okay. I don't know if you've ever seen that. That's more my speed, but it's in the vein of Wolf of Wall Street. But yeah, lots of... If there's cocaine, I'm sure I would have done just fine. Sans the cocaine, though, maybe not.
It's New York City. New York City runs on coke, so I'm sure they had it.
America runs on Dunkin', New York City runs on Coke. That's it. And Canada runs on Tim Hortons. So that's there you go. So then so we're talking now, when are you getting yourself into investing in Bitcoin for the first time? And then maybe how did you find then, what Bitcoin meant to you from a philosophical standpoint to then kind of getting that crossover into, collectibles and alternative assets and things like that?
Well, here's the thing. So I was early in Bitcoin conceptually, but when you're a kid, and I was 24, and I decided to, 2.5 years into the startup, to move home and start a business with my friend, I didn't have a ton of income to invest into Bitcoin. So I do wish I had more disposable income at that point, but I didn't. I moved back home, back to Philly, started a company that did mobile app development and website development, and did that for a little while. And then when I started getting disposable income, which was 2017 and 18, is when I actually started buying sports cards. And getting back into collectibles then. And ironically, that was around the same time that I met Gary Vee, got a job on Team Gary Vee, and worked in that ecosystem for a little while.
That's got to be a whole different beast in and of itself, huh?
Well, here's the thing. When we started the business, we did mobile app development and website design. One thing you run into, I like sales, but I had no clue how to do marketing, right? And marketing changes. And I found Gary Vee because I had a need. I was like, dude, I'm constantly trying to find new business, but it's so time consuming, right? Sales, it's always hard work. Whereas marketing, if you build your brand, that could fill up your pipeline, right? You could always have new leads coming in. So I found Gary and I was like, dude, I got to go work for this guy. Like, if I'm going to be in business for myself for the next 30, 40, 50 years, I can't just be a one-trick pony and know how to sell and close. I need to learn marketing and building a brand. So it was kind of like a little bit of a mission to go like, it was like basically like, Andrew, you need to get better skills. Do you go and get an MBA, or do you go and try to get a job for Gary? And I thought it was a better investment of my time to go and get a job for Gary than to go and get an MBA.
He's a media marketing juggernaut. I think he probably made the right choice there.
I think so too, but a lot of people go and get their MBAs, don't they?
Yeah, I think so. Chamber, were you ever an MBA guy, or were you just done when you were done?
No, I did a little school of business, but I dropped out about halfway through.
More for the cocaine, right?
For the absolute devastatingly abundance of cocaine.
Well, Chamber, let me ask you. My sister's 10 years younger. She's taking like marketing classes now.
Yeah.
From my perspective, it feels like the people even teaching the classes are theoretics and not practitioners.
100%. Yeah. No. I mean, I've heard it's like that for any of the, once you go to school for so long, once you get to that certain level where you've been in university or college for 5, 6, 7+ years, it seems to be the case across the board. I actually went to school with a guy who was writing textbooks for one of the finance classes for the School of Business that we went to. He was I think 20 years old at the time. He was like a genius. But yeah, I mean, you're 100% right. It was all conceptual, but he was a good friend of mine and got kicked out of school because he did too much mushrooms one night, jumped off and jumped off the second floor of one of the buildings and crushed his skull.
Was he okay? Is he good?
Yeah, he's okay now. He's still a genius. He works in Toronto on in the financial district in Toronto, and he's making his millions, and he's just a super genius.
Dude, microdosing is...
he wasn't he was macrodosing.
He was macrodosing. But microdosing is a real thing right now. Like, I with all of the talk about collectibles and things like that, I think we're not even paying any attention to, I think with FDA trials, now they're legitimately looking at, shrooms, psychedelics, MDMA as a way to treat depression in people now.
I've been saying it for years. Just personally speaking, my wife and I, we will do once every 3, 4, 5 years. We will do an MDMA kind of evening together, and it really helps us out with our relationship, with our anxieties, that kind of thing. I'm a huge proponent of it.
Wow, that's interesting.
Yeah, that's like a real thing. That's like a not a joke thing. That's a that's a real thing.
I can never tell what's real or not or a joke.
I have to say it. I have to actually go out and yeah, exactly. But that's a real thing.
I've never done it. I have a few friends, and you're not the only one that swears by it. In moderation and knowing when and being with the right people, but a lot of people swear by it. I've never tried. I'm kind of excited for my first experience.
I haven't done it either, mostly because I feel like my heart will explode. And so
well, so you got to watch what you do. So I'm talking MDMA. A lot of time people will take ecstasy, which is MDMA and some sort of speed mixed in together. That gives you the heart attack feel, where you feel like you're gonna dance the night away and your heart's gonna jump out of its ribcage. But if you're just doing MDMA, it's a lot more relaxed.
I'm trying to picture you dancing the night away.
I was kind of rock back in the day, buddy. But no, yeah, it's I recommend it to everybody. I'm a big fan. Obviously, like you said, you want to do it in a situation that's conducive.
What a fantastic tangent we just
look at that, eh?
I'm not even sure how we got here, but all right, let's get this back on track here. Let's get some back on track here. So what we wanted to talk about today, though, was I think the phenomenon that's happening right now in I think maybe both the collectibles space as well as the crypto space. It's a pretty unique crossover, and that's NBA Top Shot. And Chamber, I got you into it maybe a week ago. Actually, I don't even think you've had a real official pack drop yet since you've been baptized in Top Shot, have you?
I don't know how many times I've refreshed this goddamn page.
Dude, welcome to the Top Shot Club. I think that's part of their business model.
I bought a couple of moments. I think that's what they're called, moments, right?
Yep.
On the marketplace. But no, I have not gotten my own honest to goodness pack yet.
So
it's
let's
coming.
start.
Series 2 pack 11's ready to drop.
I have the page.
Yeah, it might drop
go.
it might drop while we're on this. My word on the street is 3 o'clock Eastern, but I'm not.
All
sure.
right.
All right. So let's start from the top here.
Please,
Andrew, give us a quick and dirty definition of what NBA Top Shot is.
Whew, that's tough. It's quick and dirty. It's something that solves a lot of the pain points in the hobby. For example, the biggest pain point in the hobby, in my opinion, is intermediaries. So you got to sell through like eBay, right? So if you're selling through eBay, you can return cards. It's not an instant exchange of ownership. So with Top Shot, you have an instant exchange of ownership. Two, a difficult part in the hobby is getting packs, right? People camp out in front of Walmart for like hours, and then you don't get any packs because they're already sold out. That does happen with Top Shot, but you're able to get a pack of moments from your computer. So to me, all Top Shot really is just digital sports cards, and I wouldn't get too caught up in the difference between a video and a picture, because that Michael Jordan Fleer card where he's gliding through the air so beautifully like he's dunking, that's a moment too. They just captured it in a still moment, but I think that would be equally cool in a Top Shot moment, seeing the full thing, seeing him dunk, his airness as they call him. So I don't chalk up too much difference between just a still image like a card and a moment like Top Shot is. I think it solves a lot of the pain points, especially instant ownership transfer. That's what blockchain does. That's how I see it.
So just a little additional kind of background from the crypto side. So they're basically, these packs are NFTs, so they're non-fungible tokens. So each one is its unique spot on a blockchain with its own unique mint and its own unique mint number, right? So Chamber, you know all about NFTs, huh?
Yeah, I sure do.
I can't believe what you did the other day. And so I think one of the coolest and weirdest things about Top Shot, so you get this is a really easy concept for the crypto crowd to get, right? Because it's something we've been doing and dabbling in. The NFT conversation and like the digital art piece and the digital provenance, that's still a struggle even with some crypto people. But I think that whole conversation, the people are starting to see the value of that. And so what I think is so crazy about Top Shot is it's a mixture of, you have the crypto people who know nothing or maybe very little about the NBA. You have people that I probably haven't watched an NBA basketball game in years playing with Top Shot, right? And then you have the collectibles space, the traditional sports card people trying to come in and wrap their head around the digital piece of it all, right? So I think that's super interesting. Like Chamber, Are you fully red pilled on the NFT game now, or what's the deal?
I've definitely paid for the education. I think so. I'm 100% in, I would say. The one question I did have, what blockchain does Top Shots run on?
Okay, so Andrew, do you know the answer to that? Because if you don't, I'll take it.
I don't.
Okay, so it's actually built by Dapper Labs. So Dapper Labs is actually the same company or group that built CryptoKitties, Chamber. So these are actually the same guys that built CryptoKitties, and it's actually being powered by the Flow blockchain. So remember the other day I was telling you I wanted to pick up a bag of Flow, which you can't, by the way, in the US or Canada yet. So, but when I can, I will be investing, because I think this thing's I think it's kind of here to stay. And even without the Top Shot per se, the platform, what they're doing with these marketplaces and things like that is probably something that will be built on for a long time, right? Even if it's not Top Shot. Right. But so it's Dapper Labs. It's built on Flow blockchain. And then you have, so essentially how it works is you go and you buy these packs. The packs have moments in them. They are essentially a digital collectible, and then you can buy, sell, trade, and they all have value. And Andrew, some of these moments are going for insane amounts of money, huh?
They are like the LeBron moments, and this is where it gets interesting, right? There's like layups, there's blocks, but and there's 3-pointers, but dunks. I feel like people are gonna prefer dunks. So like the LeBron moment where he dunks on, I don't even remember the player, but just posterizes him. That's the most expensive moment, and then you have like Series 1, which is like the OG pack. So those moments, they're limited out of like 300. There's like Cosmic, I think it's limited out of 75. I don't know the exact serial numbers, but there's been moments that have sold for 100,000. And frankly, I think they would have sold for more if the platform would have allowed it. Right now, the maximum purchase on the site, because it's in beta, is 100,000.
I think they just bumped it. The other day I saw they bumped it to 250, I think. Which is crazy to think about.
Well, there's a few things at play here, and it sounds to me like this is what you guys do. I'm a consumer behavior guy, so like I love when there's an overlap of kind of interest, and you mentioned it just a little bit ago. Like it's people that love crypto that have made money more than likely on Ethereum and Bitcoin. Like I have friends that made like $160,000, and all they've ever put in was 10,000. There's a lot of people that made money on crypto. And then on the other side, it's people who love sports, probably sports betting, daily fantasy, collectibles, and they're overlapping, right? And that's why you're seeing a bit of a boom with Top Shot and digital collectibles in general. It's not just Top Shot. There's digital art out there.
Yeah. And so I don't know if you probably aren't aware of this, Andrew, but yesterday or 2 days ago in the crypto world, something I would say similar took over, and it was everybody forgot about Top Shot for the day. And Chamber, maybe you could take a second to explain what the hell this is, because I still don't even know what it is.
I mean, I'll give you the broad stroke because I still don't even know what happened.
Is it Dogecoin?
No, it's called Hashmasks. They were called Hashmasks. And essentially, Andrew, it was the same kind of phenomenon where, it was really only appealed to crypto people and the NFT, like the non-fungible token ownership, rarity, scarcity type of crowd. But it went viral real quick throughout the crypto community. It's so hard that Chamber made his own little investment that wasn't so little.
No, it wasn't little.
And you might have been better off buying a moment here.
Oh, I may have been much better off buying a moment. But yeah, no, it was this thing called Hashmasks. I think they released it about a week ago, where the platform itself went live 7 days ago. And what they were doing is they were releasing, I want to say, we'll call it 17,000 NFTs of different works of art. And the first block you could buy for like 0.1 Ethereum. And if you're not familiar with what Ethereum is, it's roughly priced at about $1,500 right now. So it'd be $150 you could have paid a week ago to get one of these works of art. So at the time, I know people that bought like 20 of them, said, fuck it, let's participate in this. So they bought 20. And then I think it was every day, or once a certain block got purchased, the price would go up. So it went from 0.1 to, 0.2, 0.3, whatever it went to. So by the time it got to me, the day before it ended, or the day it ended, I should say, I was paying 3 Ethereum for the same.
Oh my god!
And then so there was 150 available at 3 Ethereum. So I was one of 150, and then the last 3 before they could close the sale were 3 at 100 Ethereum each. So
and people bought them.
3 people bought for 100 Ethereum. Bought one of these works.
So
of art.
Andrew, for context, then 100 Ethereum at the current price is $140,000.
And they didn't even see it. It was just sight unseen. I'm gonna pay $100,000 just to participate. Where 7 days ago, $150 would have got you the same thing.
So the reason I wanted to bring that up versus what we're talking about here is kind of my point about the overlap, right? Where you have these, the crypto crowd that is, they have money to spend, they see value in this digital scarcity, and so that's where this liquidity on Top Shop, a lot of it comes from, right? Where and I think what's interesting is people, it doesn't matter, what do you think, Andrew, about the argument from people where, and I don't know if Cage said this, I can't remember, or about it just being something you can get on YouTube, right? Like you could see this on YouTube. Why am I paying for it? What's your kind of thought process?
Well, I could print and on eBay there are reprints selling, which actually are crazy. But I could print a picture of a card too,
sure,
and I could put it in a slab. I could probably send it to GMA and they'll grade it. To be quite honest,
yep.
But that's not really what we're looking for, right? Like, we're looking for a place to store it's a store of value, plus we're making a bet or a speculation or an investment. The line is very blurred in the current age of the difference between those three. That, hey, I'm going to convert my US dollar into this moment or into this crypto, and I think long term that it's going to appreciate relative to the dollar. That's really what I think. We're just exchanging assets.
That's totally what it is, right? And it's all about whether it's the sports cards, whether it's the Hashmask, whether it's Top Shot, right? It's people are chasing and exchanging the scarcity and the that limited asset, right? So it doesn't matter, like the tangible collectible piece, when somebody buys a $5.2 million Mickey Mantle like they did last week or 2 weeks ago, that card isn't sitting on his counter. It is now in a vault. He owns it, but he doesn't have it to sleep with under his pillow, right? It's essentially the same thing. Like, yeah, I have some of my cards in front of me and that's great, but if I owned a $5.2 million Mickey Mantle, I'd be just as happy with it in a vault, right? So it doesn't matter what you're chasing there and selling and trading and buying and holding is the tangible, or is that digital, or that scarcity, right? Just the limited nature of these assets. So it doesn't matter that you can get this on YouTube, because quite honestly, it's not even. I've bought stuff where I haven't, or I've opened packs where I'm not even looking at the dang moment. I'm just looking at the number, what the mint is. I'm trading on that, right? So is that kind of how you see it as well?
I think absolutely, man, absolutely. And I think we've gotten really good at understanding store of value, right? Like, all money is a store of value. So like, and I don't even think of it as buying a Mickey Mantle to $5.2 million card. I just think it's converting US dollars for an alternate investment, an alternate asset. Like, if people have ever traveled, you're in the US, you're flying to, let's say, Mexico, you get to the Mexican airport in Cancun, and you convert your US dollars to pesos, right? You're not buying pesos, you're just converting your US dollars to pesos. So we're really good at that when it comes to like tangible in the real world. But what was hard for a long time for people, and clearly it's so much better now because technology is better and there's adoption, but it was really confusing for people to convert US dollars to Bitcoin, right? Like they couldn't make that switch in their head. They always call it buying Bitcoin, but you're not buying Bitcoin. You're just exchanging your US dollar for Bitcoin. You're exchanging your US dollars for an internet asset. And now there are more and more and more and more and more internet assets out there. And also there's collectibles, art, coins, sports cards. But I think what we've gotten good at is really understanding how to convert traditional assets to alternate assets.
I think that's a great point. What do you think of that, Chamber?
No, I think Andrew hit the nail right on the head. It's a common saying in cryptocurrency, but what gives it value is the group of people that is giving it value, right? And that's not just with Bitcoin. The value in Bitcoin is the security, the decentralized nature of it. But with collectibles, it's a group of people saying, yes, this is valuable, and this at this moment in time is the price we're putting on that valuable thing, and that may go down and that may go up with, if LeBron James, I don't know, maybe not. Let's not use LeBron James. If Tobias Harris goes out and drops 101 points tonight, guess what? The value of a Tobias Harris top shot is going to go fucking through the roof.
Sure.
Because a group of nerds on computers say that it's more valuable now.
I'm also curious, I always like to answer a question with the question. What gives the U.S. dollar value?
That's exactly it. The group of people.
Do you guys ever see the first Dumb and Dumber when they find the briefcase?
Yeah.
And then they spend all the money, and then they find them, and they're like, "You spent all my money." They're like, "We didn't spend all your money. There's IOUs for every single thing and it's the same thing. People don't realize when you have a U.S. dollar, what they're saying is, "Hey, we owe you."
It's just as good as cash.
This will be usable. You'll be able to apply this to a grocery purchase or a movie theater entry at a future date. So the government is IOU, and we haven't touched on this, but it's a big point. I think we're losing faith in the dollar and the U.S. government because of how much they've printed it.
Of course.
And as a result, we're looking for other IOUs.
Are we just going to brush over the fact that Andrew said the first Dumb and Dumber? I know there was more Dumb and Dumbers, but I feel the we can just say Dumb and Dumber. We can forget about the other two that came.
Yeah, they don't.
But then they were like Dumb and Dumberer.
That's right. We just say Dumb and Dumber, and we'll all know what that means.
But his point is perfect, 100%. Right? That was the big thing I remember having to kind of talk my dad into when I was talking about Bitcoin was, what is it backed by? Well, and what is the U.S. dollar backed by?
The government.
Yeah, right. Okay, and then and it used to be the gold standard and all that, but it's not anymore, right? So it's all the same. It's all that, right? So
it hasn't been the gold standard since 1970.
Right. Exactly. So, but I feel like a lot of people who aren't into crypto or I bet you most people don't really know that, quite honestly.
No, you're probably accurate there. The fact that nobody really knows, and I honestly think if the dollar was still like gold based, as the underlying currency, I think it would be much easier for people to make the transition from gold to Bitcoin. You know what I mean? Because we say gold, we as a community, we say it's worth something. It's different than saying the government says it's worth something. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I right, because people trust the government inherently, right?
Well, I honestly do think they trust the government inherently.
No, I wasn't really kidding. I mean, people do. Yeah. So, but anyway, all right, let's go back to Top Shot here. So, Andrew, how have you kind of used Top Shot? Because I mean, people are making money on Top Shot. People are also probably losing money on Top Shot. But I feel like there's more to be made if you're doing it right. So, how are you kind of utilizing Top Shot, and what advice would you give, maybe Chamber who's only been using it for a week?
I think Series 1 moments are going to be sought after.
Let me tell you what I have right now. I'll tell you what I have.
Sure.
I bought 3 cars. You tell me if I made the right decision here, okay? I have a Maxi Kleiber.
You did that because of Mark Cuban, didn't you?
Yeah, no, they were talking about it on the Discord, and I'm like, all right, I'm gonna buy one of these.
Did you see he mentioned Mark Cuban wrote that blog, and he mentioned Maxi Kleber?
It's a Series 2, but I bought that one specifically for that particular reason. I did buy a Series 1 Reggie Bullock. It's him, Robin LeBron. I thought that was pretty good. And a series, that was a limited edition, LE. What's CC stand for?
Go ahead, Andrew, if you know.
I don't know what it stands for, but it means it's just they're going to keep printing.
It stands for continuing count, I believe.
Oh, okay, I see. Yes. I see. So I have the other two I have are limited editions, which are Svi Mikhailuk.
That means that number that you see on the back end of that's how many there are, and they're not making anymore. Yes.
So I have a Svi Mikhailuk and a Reggie Bullock Series 1 limited edition. Not that they're that special. I didn't pay that much for them. I just kind of wanted to transact and see how the whole process worked. But they're pretty cool. They're cool.
So I have a couple Series 1 moments, but I bought, which is funny. I shout out to Crypto Fitch, our buddy Frank, who I think 5-time podcast guest. He told me about Top Shot way back in like October. So my account, I was actually created in October, and I had a couple packs in here of Series 1 packs. So the only Series 1 I've bought that I didn't rip, I bought a Markieff Morris limited edition from the bubble. And the reason I bought it was because it's a limited edition. It's only out of like 1900, and it actually features LeBron as well. I think LeBron gives him the assist. So I'm like, all right, let's find short printed LeBron featured moments, right? So
Bubble Keith was sick too. That was
do you guys use intangible.market?
Yes, that's a great. Did I tell you about that one yet, Chamber?
No, intangible.
Yeah,
one of the big benefits of blockchain, I think it all ties in. I hope people that are listening realize how interconnected a lot of this stuff is, because there's so, with GME and AMC, because of the lack of transparency, people are so frustrated. So why people love blockchain is it's pseudo transparent. Like there's a ledger and you're able to see everyone's transactions, right? So it's harder to pump and dump. You see what people own. So you go to this website. It's called intangible.market.
I thought it was a virus. It's good. It's
it's legit.
I'm like, whoa, what did I do?
And you type in a name, like type in Cage Lawyer. That's my co-host. He got in early. You're able to, just using his username, see what does this guy own? What does this guy hold in crypto moments? Okay.
And it tells you what it's worth too, like
exactly.
The baseline value of what his moments are worth. Yeah. So you could put in, if you do account, I think there's a tab that says, or a link that says account valuation or something, and you put in your username and it'll tell you kind of what your moments are worth at the floor, like what the lowest price moment is. It doesn't take in, if you're looking at this, it doesn't take in serial number to account, which one of the things that I thought was crazy. And in the sports card world, Andrew, when we see something that's numbered, or we're looking at a population count for a card, we're looking at that back number where it's like out of 99, right? There's only 99 of them exist, right? Or, out of 2000. But in Top Shot, what is crazy is that back number doesn't matter as much as the front number does. That mint number. So like, if you look at what these moments are going for, the number one minted moment is going for significantly more than the back-ended moment, even though there's 15,000 of each, the number one is going for a lot more than the number 10,000. And even though they're both out of 15,000, right? Or the jersey numbers are going for more, or literally, no joke, the 420s are going for more. So like, you find out these little weird quirks that people are buying into and what people see value in. And I think that's really interesting about it as well. And again, all because you can see the transparency of what's being bought and sold on the blockchain, right?
It's exactly right. Other than like number 1, number 8, number 23, jersey numbers, things like that, I actually think there is a lot of benefit for selling some of your lower serial number moments. Like, let's say you get 90 out of 7,500. I would sell that for a premium and then just buy a normal moment. I don't think those are as valuable, but I don't know the platform well enough.
Yeah, no, I think I would agree with you, right? Like, take your money and run, right? Like, go put that money into a lower limited edition one, right? Like, that's what I would think.
I think so. Like, I don't care if I pull a blue Ja Morant that's numbered 44 or if I pull it 185. It doesn't matter to me. Exactly. I know it's out of 199. It's already scarce. I don't need to add another layer of scarcity to it. It doesn't make a ton of sense to me.
Exactly. Some other tools, Chamber, that you could use to kind of check out what's going on in the market. There's something called Top Shot Explorer, so it's kind of like Etherscan ish.
All right.
And that'll actually show you. Top Shot Explorer will show you like the sets, so you can see who is. You can click on like each of the releases, and it'll actually show you who is in those sets, who's, how many are minted. Then you can see on that too, I believe, how many they're starting to mint. So you can see who might be getting a moment soon that may not have one. So that could be a target for you.
I was looking for, when I was buying the other day, I found an Alex Caruso, which I'm a big fan of.
No, that's your boy. That's your boy.
So I was looking for a Taylor Horton Tucker one. That one hasn't happened yet, so I'll keep my eyes peeled for that one. But what
that might be a big one when he gets his first moment. People are loving THT.
I love a good THT moment. But the moment I'm expecting now, I didn't realize this. You guys said this early in the show, but so there's only 3 types of moments. There's dunks, 3-pointers, and layups. Is that correct?
There's assists.
And assists. Okay.
Yeah, I can't remember.
Handles.
I think that handles as well.
So they should come up with another one. Call it whatever. But of moments like what happened the other day with LeBron and the courtside Karen.
100%.
Like, are you kidding? Like, how is that not a moment? That is the moment of 2021 so far.
That's great.
I think they will, and I think they'll have like throwback moments too. I think I think they're starting very practically. What gives me a lot of promise is I think the site has had a ton of issues. It's really hard to get packs. It freezes up, but the founding team, like you mentioned, they've started CryptoKitties. They have experience. They have some really smart backers and advisors. So that gives me a lot of hope that they'll figure this thing out because it is so new.
Yeah, 100%. There's one other website that I just wanted to, for people to check out. It's CryptoSlam. Are you familiar with CryptoSlam, Chamber?
I am not familiar with CryptoSlam.
Okay, so CryptoSlam is kind of it shows all the activity on like dApps. So all the Ethereum dApps.
I did see a screenshot, I think.
Yes, so you can. So Top Shot is the. Hold on one second.
I thought it was wasn't it the number one?
Yes.
Like, was it by trade volume or?
Yeah, so cryptoslam.io is what the website
Guys, if
is.
you're out there listening to this podcast, I want you to realize this is so new. Like, this is so new. You're not late to the game. Learning this stuff now is going to benefit you long term, whether you're in the market, you're buying. Just having a fundamental knowledge of it, I think this is going to be here to stay, whether that's Top Shot, CryptoKitties, or company in 5 years that's a different one. I think blockchain is here to stay.
So I totally agree. And like, we've heard in the past couple years, Chamber, specifically about, these decentralized apps, nobody uses them, blah, 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 this and that. And that has historically been the case, I would think, right? But Top Shot, just to give you perspective. So CryptoPunks, do you know what CryptoPunks are, either of you guys?
I've heard of CryptoPunks.
Okay, so CryptoPunks was the biggest one before Top Shot. They were like the biggest collectible dApp thing, right? Now, that is the number 2 today in the last 24 hours. They've done $452,000 in sales today. They're down 33% in the last 24 hours. They've had 19 total buyers and 24 transactions. So that's the number 2 dApp right now. So for perspective here, NBA Top Shot today, just in the last 24 hours, $1.6 million in sales volume, 4,388 unique buyers, and 16,811 transactions.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's bananas.
In the last 30 days, they've done $44 million in volume, 20,000 active buyers, and 544,000 transactions. So people are using this platform, and I think that's the big takeaway, right? And it's so, Andrew, what do you think do you think the traditional collector is going to embrace this? Because like we've seen some stuff like Topps did a blockchain release with. Topps did a blockchain release with Garbage Pail Kids. Panini does the Panini blockchain, cards and things like that. But do you think the traditional collector will eventually embrace something like this?
I think the traditional collector's changing, right? Like, like when you picture a traditional collector, you think of like that 40-year-old guy in the bottom of his mom's basement collecting cards. But I think that traditional collector's changing. Like, if you go to these shows, like, you see more women at the shows. You see more young kids at the shows. Like, you see these kids that are, 15, 16. I mean, we had one on Rips Cards, He's a collector at heart, and he's 16, and he has like $1 million plus collection of Giannis, Kawhi, and Luka and Trey.
Oh my God! Imagine.
We've never had a minor on the show, have we?
I don't know.
I feel like we should.
We probably could. There's probably 14-year-old devs out there that are crushing.
It's a trip, man. It's crazy. Like, this kid started collecting at 12. We had him on. We're like, okay, you invested in Giannis, but tell us about some of your mistakes. And he was like, well, I invested in Kawhi. So that's not a mistake. But no, they got in early. Is he the traditional investor? I could see someone like him in 1 to 2 or 3 years, once this has a little bit more adoption and maturity, moving 10-15% of his collection into digital moment. We always think in all or nothing, but really, it's just a percentage of your portfolio. Like, I probably invested 3 to 5% into Top Shot. Enough to make a dent, but not everything.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure.
Well, and the thing too that I don't know if people don't realize it or what, but people get older. I saw somebody the other day talking about millennials, and I'm like, bro, millennials are like 40 now. All right, like you can't like yell at them for being dumb and young. Like, they're old. They're old people now. And a
lot of them are inheriting their family money.
Right.
So, like, these millennials that you are like coming at, well, they're probably working at hedge funds, and they've taken in some of the trust from their family's money, and now they're deploying it towards. And you're seeing this, like, they're deploying it towards sports cards. Like,
and not even the money aspect. I mean, just think. Like, I have a 7-year-old daughter. She has always known, like, high-speed internet, tablets, like. She's 7, so just take somebody that's like, take the kid that was on your show. He's 16, 15. Like, that's not that much older than my kid. He's probably always had an iPad, or more or less had a cell phone from when he was probably 11 or 12 years old. The mentality shifts with the generations. And when you hear that millennials are now getting into their mid to late 30s, soon to be 40s, what does that tell you? It means that, the boomers are dying off. And,
but you're absolutely right.
Slowly but surely, things will migrate into something completely different.
They control culture is really what.
Right, exactly.
It's interesting. I think it's a fun, me and I think all three of us here are pretty open to being early adopters of things, from a traditional collector standpoint. Obviously there's Top Shot. Andrew, you guys are big into Star Stock, which I'm a huge fan of, which is another new platform. And I think, being an early adopter and being open-minded about this stuff, it pays off more than it doesn't. Right. And so, like you said, maybe it's not all in Top Shot, but play around with it, educate yourself, because even if Top Shot isn't the thing that stays around, this idea is not going anywhere, I don't think, right? So I think that's probably a good place to stop on Top Shot. I do want to just point out, so today, the last 24 hours, you can see on this cryptoslam.io is probably the best resource to go look at, like, all the marketplace stuff. 3 LeBron James moments sold today. I think they're the same. One is the finals dunk, serial number to 50, sold for $32,000. One is the top from the top block, serial number to 19, sold for $28,000. And another LeBron from the top block, that same moment, serial number to 46, sold for $27,000. That's just today. That's insanity. But the other thing you can see, another big sale today, LeBron James, $13,750. So I would also say, keep that same mentality where, probably
put your
money
by
where.
The way.
The last one?
The Series 1 dunk, gold.
Oh, yeah. That's sweet.
That's the one I want.
This one was serial number to 240. Yeah, and there's people out there developing tools out there all the time that, for this that are probably going to be pretty useful for people soon. So I would say, check it out. Go ahead.
I have one last question, just about the packs.
Yep.
Now I see here like a bunch of them are sold out. Where it says base set series 2 common right on it. It seems there was a Cool Cats pack dropped last. That was maybe a series 1 or the first drop of the Cool Cats. Can you get one of these like super rare ones in one of these base packs, or do you need to get a more expensive pack?
No, you can definitely pull rare stuff in the base packs.
Okay. All right. That was the only question I had. I wasn't sure if it was only kind of like base common cards, or you could get a legendary or a...
They have different packs, but what was cool with like the Cool Cats release, for example, is they run these challenges on top of it.
Yeah, I saw that.
So if you collect all 18 or all 12 of these Cool Cats, we'll give you a Luka Cool Cat. So it's kind of fun. It's like a little bit of game that they've added on top that I think that they've learned.
So you just need to hold all of them and then they'll drop a Luka in your wallet?
They'll just add it to your account if you collect all of them.
Yep.
Sick. I like it.
But so because of that though, the Cool Cats moments are going for premium on the marketplace, right? So like I opened a Cool Cat pack, I had a Cool Cat pack, and I got a Devin Booker 3-pointer, and it was out of 7,500. And this is kind of when I was first really starting around, like really getting into it, and I'm thinking to myself, what, this is, it is what it is. I look at it and I'm like, oh my God, this is a $400 moment. And I placed it for sale for $390, and it literally sold in 2 minutes. 2 minutes. It was insane. I couldn't believe it. But anyway, all right. So let's stop there on Top Shot. I think we gave people a really good idea of what it is. If you haven't messed around with it yet, check it out. It's worth investing a little time in potentially. But we've got one more quick segment here. We've got Chamber, who you all know, listeners, is one of the biggest Laker fans out there. He is. I think he's self-described in a recent tweet that Kobe is like the big brother he never had.
That's a fact, man. That's a fact.
This is what you said, and I know that Andrew from his podcast has, he's a big Kobe guy. You have a big Kobe collection, is that correct?
Big is relative. Not when I go on Instagram. It doesn't feel.
What's the
so
coolest
big.
piece you have?
My favorite card that I have, I just sold 2 9s of probably my favorite card because I just couldn't afford the 10. My favorite Kobe card is the Kobe 1996 Topps, but it's at 50th. It's like the foil card.
Yeah,
it's cool. Just a really hard to grade card, but my favorite card is the Ultra. I have 2 Fleer Ultra 52 PSA 10s that I really like. It's just a hard grade. It's the black background card, so I really like that.
We'll have to post some pics of those cards for people who aren't familiar. So, Chamber, you're going to want one. I know it.
Mm-hmm. It sounds like I do.
Look, I don't know how you haven't kind of gotten into this yet. I mean, if you're dropping 3 Ethereum on a Hashmask, that.
My wife asked me what 3 Ethereum was worth, by the way, and I didn't have the heart to tell her.
that money could have bought you, one of these Kobe at 50th. Fuck. You know what I mean? So, which will probably go up in value versus your Hashmask, I would think, right?
Yeah.
But we've got 2 big Kobe fans here, so we're gonna roll through the trivia games that we like to do. We're gonna put Andrew against Chamber.
I'm gonna get.
REKT. REKT.
Smoked.
No,
Jesus.
I don't know.
Cage flexes his movie quote trivia on me every episode, and I just look like a fool. But let's rock with.
All right, so here's how it'll work. We're going to start with Andrew. Andrew, I'm going to give you multiple choice Kobe questions here. I found this 20-question Kobe quiz, so we'll go through 10 questions. We'll give you 5.
By the way, you guys, I love your guys' vibe. You guys work really well off each other.
Thank you. Appreciate that. We've Chambers like the brother I never had. Oh, wait, I have a brother.
Dude, you have a brother.
Sorry, bro. So we'll start with you, Andrew. I'll give you the multiple choice. You give me your answer, and then Chamber, if you get it wrong, Chamber will have a chance to steal. And we'll do out of 10 questions, who's got the most points at the end for the bragging rights here. So, all right, Andrew. Question number 1: remember, this is multiple choice. Where was Kobe Bryant born? Is it A, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, B, Denver, C, Harlem, New York, or San Antonio, Texas? Yep, that one was too easy to start him off being a Philly guy. So that's correct. Chamber, you keeping score over there?
Yep.
Okay, so we've got question 2. Okay, this is for Chamber. Chamber, when is Kobe's birthday? Is it November 3rd, 1978, January 9th, 1976, March 24th, 1979, or August 23rd, 1978?
A, November 1978.
November 3rd, 1978? All right, let's see if that's correct.
August 23rd or 24th.
Hold on. So, Chamber, that is incorrect. November 3rd, 1978 is incorrect. So, Andrew, are you going with August 23rd, 1978?
That's right.
That is correct.
Son of a bitch.
Chamber, you must have been thinking of my birthday.
Is that what it is?
Yes, November 3rd. I know you cherish me almost as much as you cherish Kobe.
Well, now that he's gone, you're the only thing I have.
Thanks, man. That's so sweet. All right, Andrew, off to a hot start here. You're screwed, Chamber.
Yeah,
You're
I'm
gonna
done.
get this one, of course. This one's I could have got. What is Kobe's full name? Kobe Bryant, Kobe Bean Bryant, Kobe Mamba Bryant.
I'm just gonna put the point down now.
Kobe Jarvis Bryant.
Jarvis.
It's the Bean. Kobe Bean.
Kobe Bean Bryant. That's correct. All right. So it's 3-0 here.
Fuck.
This is turning into a
81-point game right here, buddy.
It's getting late early. Okay. I feel like you're getting the harder ones here, though. Kobe was what of 3 children? The oldest, the middle, the youngest, or was he adopted?
No, he wasn't adopted. I think he has 2 sisters, and I think they're both older.
So that would make him the youngest? Is that what you're going with?
Yeah.
Okay, hold on. Let's submit the answer here.
That is correct.
All right,
good. All right.
Yes, you got it. Okay, 3-1. We're at 3-1 here.
Would you have gotten that one, Andrew? Just out of curiosity.
You were right. No, you were absolutely right.
All right, here we go.
2 older sisters. Athletic family.
That's right, yeah.
All right, here is question number 5. What was his dad and mom's name? Is it James and Nikki, John and Angela, Joe and Pamela, or Hector and Nicole?
Joe and Pamela.
Ah, god damn it.
I love when he loses.
I hate to lose. I'll tell you.
That is correct. That is correct. So is Chamber. He's going to take this really hard, actually. This is probably going to be one of the worst
It's
ones.
not over. One of Kobe's favorite quotes I always come back to is rest at the end, not in the middle.
Ah, there you go. I like that. All right. Chamber, this is your question?
Yeah, I feel it.
Okay, I think you're going to get this one because I know this one, so I think you'll get this. Where did Kobe move when he was 6 years old? Brazil, California, Las Vegas, or Italy?
Italy.
Yes, I assume that's correct because that's what I would have said. That is correct. All right, so what do we got? 4-2?
4-2.
All right, you just need one falter and steal here to get back in it.
All right.
Okay, Andrew's question. What high school did Kobe Bryant attend?
Come on!
Lower Marion High, Francis K. Sweet High, Glade Central, or Henry J. Cox?
It's not even fair.
It's not even fair. It really isn't. I almost want to get it wrong just for the sanctity, but I can't. I wouldn't be able to sleep.
That wouldn't be the Kobe way. That wouldn't be the Kobe way.
That wouldn't be the Kobe way. He went to Lower Merion.
Yeah, that's what I would have said as well. Okay, so now we've got 5-2.
Yeah, 5-2.
No, it's getting late. Okay, what college did he go to? Miami,
go to
Marquette,
college.
Oregon. Yeah, all
go to
right, there you go.
college. Come
They
on.
threw you a layup there. Next question here, question 9. Question 9. This one's interesting. Who did he take to his senior prom? Eva Longoria, Brandy Norwood, Trina, or he didn't go?
Wow. Say those again, please.
Who did
Alex
he take
Trebek?
to his senior prom? Eva Longoria, Brandy Norwood, Trina, or he didn't go to senior prom?
He didn't go to senior prom. He was getting buckets in the gym. He was practicing.
Okay.
Incorrect.
Incorrect. Okay, that is incorrect. So you got a chance to steal here, Chamber.
It's Brandy. Everybody knows that. Come on.
That is correct. Wow.
Back
All
in
right.
it, baby.
So wait, you've got, what's the score?
I got 4-5 for Andrew.
So you need to get this right to tie.
Yeah.
Wow, that was a clutch steal.
Woo!
That might be a Top Shot moment. Chamber steals a question. What college? What?
I know it. I know the answer.
This is terribly worded. I'm going to read it just as it is, Chamber.
Yeah.
What college would he take if he went?
Duke.
FAU, North Carolina, Duke, or
Duke.
Villanova?
Duke.
Okay. Duke is let's see if Duke's the correct answer. Duke is the correct answer. We have a tie. We're going
Extra
to sudden
innings.
death. Yeah, we're going to sudden death. All right, Andrew. So how do we want to operate this sudden death here? It'll be if Andrew gets
First
it
one
wrong
to get
and
one
Chamber
wrong.
steals,
Yeah, first one to get it wrong, and then
the other person would have to steal the win.
yeah.
Let's
correct.
do that, right? Or actually, how would we do that?
First steal. Yeah, first steal I think works. Right?
First, okay, ready?
Yeah.
This is Andrew's question.
Yeah.
What pick was Kobe in the draft? 11, 13, 9, or 7?
That's correct.
You guys are good. 13 is correct. Chamber, he's just putting the pressure on you.
I love it.
What year did he get drafted? 93, 2000, 96, 98.
96.
Okay.
We're going to be here all day.
We're running out of questions.
I would love to just finish the 20 tied, and I would be happy with that too.
Let's see. We've got, okay, this is stupid. What team drafted him? Lakers, Bulls, Hornets, Rockets. That is correct.
Yeah, and then the GM called him. He said, "We have no use for you."
Yeah. Like, here's Vlade Divac.
Oh, boy. All right, Chamber. How many NBA seasons? Okay, wait. So I don't know when this was. It says, how many NBA seasons has he played for? So this could be a trick question.
Played for 20 seasons.
Okay, this is old. This
Yeah.
is an old trivia question. I'm going to skip this one.
Okay.
Then,
We'll just say I
because-
got that one right. We're in agreement that he played for 20 seasons.
Yes, he did.
All right.
Okay, then that's...
We can just skip that one.
We'll just skip that one.
Yeah.
You got it.
Yeah.
Okay. This quiz is for 6 years old.
Oh, it's not for 6-year-olds. Is that what you're saying?
No.
It's for grown. It's for grown adults.
All right, dude, I think we're going to get all these. You guys are going to get all these right. What was his highest scoring game of his career? 81, 80, 82, or 61?
I think it's Andrew, right?
Yeah.
Is it me? 81 against the Raptors.
I already
Jalen Rose.
put the points in for it.
Okay, let's keep going. We've got Chamber. Okay, what was his? Oh, this is harder. What was his highest scoring average in his career? 30.4, 29.7, 31.2, or 35.4?
See, in
Man,
my head
those
it
are-
was 34.5, but it's probably 35.4.
Is that what you're going with?
Yeah.
Okay, this is a difficult one. That is correct, man.
I thought it was 34 something, but it was probably 35 something.
Wow. Okay. Here we go. Only a couple questions left we're gonna call it a tie at that point. Who wrote this? How much points per game did he average in his career? All right. So what was his points per game career average? 27.6. Now we have to keep in mind that this is a couple years old. 27.6, 28.3, 26.4, and 25.3.
It's ridiculous. That's such a ridiculous question.
That is a ridiculous question.
You could both get it wrong.
That's true.
Read the multiple choice options again, please.
27.6, 28.3, 26.4, or 25.3.
26.4.
I agree. I think that's the right answer.
Well, he didn't play a lot his first 2 years.
I agree with him.
He didn't play a lot his first 2 years. I'm going to go with that's the lowest one, right?
No, I think there's a lower one. I think it was a 25.
25.3 is the lowest. And
but I think 26 is right, though.
So you would have gone with that, Chamber?
I think we both, I would have said the same thing.
So that is incorrect.
Oh, interesting.
This says 25.3.
I feel like the number's jacked up because of the
when
date,
the quiz was.
Right.
That's why I'm not giving you the steal option there.
Yeah.
Because that's why. Okay. 3 questions left. This one's Chambers. How many championships did he win? We're still tied, right?
Yeah, it's 5.
Okay. Wait, does this mean you're up 1 now?
I don't know.
Yeah.
Well, no, technically that last one was a wonky one, so we should give him a pass on it.
All right, we'll give him. That's fair.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're still tied. Going into question 19. Is this a Kobe question? Who is the Lakers' all-time leading scorer? Kobe Bryant, Jerry West, Magic Johnson, Elgin Baylor.
That one's for Andrew?
Yeah.
Say that again. That was for me?
Yeah. Who's the Lakers' all-time leading scorer?
Uh-huh.
And it's just Kobe, Jerry West, Magic Johnson, Elgin Baylor. I assume the answer's Kobe.
It's Kobe. I'm surprised they didn't put Kareem on that, but I guess he's not like only a Laker.
Kareem got a lot of his points with Milwaukee, right?
That's how they're counting it. It's got to be Kobe.
That's correct. And then the last this question sucks too. I think you guys are going to just have to call it a draw.
I agree with that.
What was his latest salary? So we can't do that because this is
that's a weird one.
23 or 20. I'm not reading all these numbers.
20 million. Was it
20 million?
Yeah, it's 20 million there.
Right. Let's see if that 20 million is there, and that is not correct. 23 million.
I feel like the last 2 years of his contract were like 20 million apiece.
They could be. So again, this one was old. So I think we're gonna have to call this a draw. What do you guys say?
I agree. I feel we're the adversary. Now I do have a question for Andrew.
Please.
In the highlights of Kobe's career, I've been going back and forth on this moment between 2 moments, kind of tying it back into Top Shots. What do you think is the better moment? The Kobe 81-point game or the Kobe 60-point game, the last game of his career? Stumped. It's a tough one.
I watched the 60-point game, and it was obvious they let him shoot a ton. But I love what Kobe represents to people. So like that to me is bigger than anything. Like, and coming off an Achilles injury on his last game.
Mm-hmm. And the year was shit. Like he was no good all year at Kobe standards. Like he was good compared to an average basketball player.
And to have that resilience to show up, it kind of epitomized who he is.
I agree. Like I've slowly gone to the camp of the last game, the 60-point game is my favorite Kobe game. And just everybody that was there, like I think like Jay-Z and Kanye were there. Just everybody's just losing their mind in that last 5 minutes. And that was a close game too. Like that was I think it was tied with like 4 minutes left. And I mean it was bananas. And Utah needed to win that game in order to make the playoffs. Like it was a real game.
It was a real game, I agree.
But yeah, I think that's slowly become my favorite game.
I'm a Froby guy, by the way. I'm a young Kobe guy because What I think is cool about Kobe, if you like go back and watch his interviews, you'll notice he never talks about money. He's one of those really interesting guys. None of his interviews he ever even mentions money. And then I started thinking, I was like, dude, this guy is a true artist. And what I've loved is how Kobe evolved. Like, he came in, he was arrogant, he was raw, he wasn't really that good, he wasn't the most athletic guy, he didn't have a lot of the gifts that other players do, and he's someone that really stayed true to working on his craft, and I really like that and respect that about him. So I'm a Froby guy.
I love it all. I mean, I was like I said, I think it was like 13 or 14 when the Lakers drafted Kobe, and I mean, like it was my entire life. Like that was my guy, and I agree. I like the way he took to the game. I like the way he trained.
Those things that Andrew just said is how I feel about you, Chamber, about podcasting. You know, you don't have the natural podcasting gift. You aren't the best in the studio, but you've really dedicated yourself to working on your craft.
That's right.
Over these
It's a Mamba mentality. I've always said he's done the most with the most with the least. You know, like 6'6" is tall, but it's not the tallest.
Well, I think true Kobe fans would say that. A lot of people don't realize he's not that athletic. He didn't have the biggest hands. He's not super he's just not the most athletic guy.
He's an average basketball player.
That's right.
Yeah.
Interesting. All right, you guys could go talking for
all day.
Kobe
I am
for another
pleased to tie with Andrew on the Kobe trivia.
Yes, that's awesome. So before we get out of here, first of all, thank you so much, Andrew, for spending some time with us, talking Top Shot, talking about your background. Before we go, talk about where people can find you, what it is that you're doing day to day. Shout out your handles, anything like that.
Sure. So like social media is super glamorous, and a podcast and all that stuff but the truth is I made a ton of mistakes in my 20s. So I didn't invest well, I didn't save money well, I didn't have good financial habits, so to speak. So with that, I created a podcast trying to share the mistakes I made and the strategies I've learned over the years so that hopefully other people don't make those mistakes. The podcast is called Lukas, Tigers, and Brons. Oh my.
It's a great name, by the way.
It's myself and my co-host. My co-host, he's 14 years older than me, lives in New York. His pseudonym. His name is Cage. And we bring you guys daily plays, daily ideas, strategies, cards to look at in the collectibles market. And then we also bring guests on once a week, twice a week, however much it takes, and it's been an unbelievable experience. It's going on 6 months. You guys can find us on Instagram or on YouTube. On Instagram, it's Luka Tiger LeBron Podcast. And what's the coolest thing about this is we've been able to create a community, right? And 2020 has been crazy for a lot of people. 2021, who knows? But that's just life, things happen. And having a community of people you could talk with, vibe with, share ideas and strategies with has been super cool, and it's been the most rewarding project, experience, business, whatever you want to call it, that we've ever done.
That's awesome. And I will say, I consume a lot of podcasts. I consume a ton of sports card and collectibles podcasts myself. And I found you guys randomly about 3 months ago, and I think I've listened to every episode since. So every single day I'm listening. So I appreciate what you guys are doing. I hope to be able to chat with you and Cage at some point in the near future. But definitely, if you're interested in this stuff at all, go find them. If you're interested, honestly, even if you're not a sports card person and you're just into sports, I think it's a lot of value there as well. But definitely check them out. What's your personal Twitter as well, Andrew?
My personal Twitter is, I think it's I am Goldberg, and my Instagram is I am Andrew Goldberg.
Perfect. So go check Andrew out. Get at him if you like what he was talking about today. We appreciate him coming on and spending some time with us. So thank you very much, Andrew. Chamber, any parting words before we get out of here?
I have a sweet NFT for sale on OpenSea right now. For
how many Ethereum are you asking for?
66 Ethereum. It's for money laundering. So if anybody wants to launder some money, feel free to pick up my work of art
Chamber, you should have definitely just bought a Kobe rookie. Like, you're fascinated with Kobe. You should have spent that money on a Kobe rookie. I'm sure somebody on the internet would have taken Ethereum for a Kobe rookie. Right? So, but that's going to do it for us. Until next time, don't get wrecked. And that is financial advice.
Hey everybody, thanks for listening. You can help support us by giving us a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts and become a REKT patron by signing up for a monthly tier on patreon.com. That's patreon.com/REKT podcast. Don't get wrecked.